In Case of Failure, a poem by Roland Takaoka. Life at times can be very tough. A good swing puts you in the rough. Then penalties and below par become the what and who you are. But that is just a passing thing. Not failure, just another swing. So when you can't pick up the bat, pet a dog or a cat or something like that. Ta-da! There's my poem for the day. Hi, everybody. Welcome to What is the Positive? And I thought I'd just play with something fun that I spent maybe a total of 5 minutes on about an hour ago, and share the thoughts that a cat is something that can change your day just by being. And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And before we go into the cat sequence, though, because this will carry us off to the end of the day probably. The thing about life is that we're always challenged. I like to look at it like there are only challenges and opportunities, because if we stick with it long enough, we're going to figure out either that the problem is not the problem it was and we have the problem conquered, or we've decided that we can rise above it and do something different and achieve the end goal that we didn't need to encounter the problem in the first place. But one way or the other, it changes shape and dynamics if we stick to it and keep addressing the problem. Now, I'm not talking about struggling with it. And there are some few quotes that I would like to mention that kind of address this whole concept, because I think that anything can be achieved if we stick to it and keep searching for the answer and striving for the higher answer. So let's consider a couple of quotes, some of these that I really, really like. This one's by Calvin Coolidge. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. So I've got a couple of other quotes, but I'm not going to quote more until I've introduced the people who are with me, because I'm being rude. So let's introduce the people in the green room. We'd like to introduce my co-hosts with the show, starting with Shira Hunt. Please say hi.
Hi, I'm Shira. I'm in Tennessee at this time. I'm a vibrational medicine coach and therapist, and I use frequency and sound in treatment, and I'm excited to be a part of this process here with you, Roland. Thank you.
Great. And another thing about Shira, we're going to have an episode that completely deals with the subject of what her main focus is, sound vibration therapy. And it's going to be a very exciting episode. We're going to probably do that in a few weeks, but we're going to plan it out and make sure that we can, in a very short period of 1 hour, give you a really good idea of what she does. Because what she does is what this show is all about, basically. And everything in the universe is energy, and sound is energy. So at some point or another, you have to understand that sound can affect the physical body, and we will connect the dots for you. Sound can affect the physical body, mental body, and the emotional body, therefore the spiritual body, if you haven't figured that out yet. So anyway, moving on down the line, we have with us George Stewart. Please say hi and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, this is George. I'm the life traveller, comic relief and support side of it. So just call me Brass Strap, because that's what I do. I'm here as support. I've bounced around the globe since I was 16, and I've seen a fair bit of life. So hopefully I can bring something, certainly some different aspects to anything that crops up today.
Thank you, George. And you are certainly a levity engagement specialist. So thank you very much for joining us. And we also have with us another philosopher of sorts, Carlos Savio. Please say hi and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Carlos Savio. I'm a practicing Pasaholic in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm also a small business management and financial consultant. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And it's funny, I'm sitting here trying to moderate my own show. I'm trying to say hello to the people in the comment stream. I'm just going to say hello because I can't type one-handed and try to run the rest of this going on. Keep track of where the conversation's going is just a little bit of a hectic mess for me. So let's start off by saying hi to Lowell Ann Fulsang. And We Wake is out there. Thank you very much for showing up and being a part of the conversation today. And while we're at it, I will say we've been trying to conquer the concept of comment tracker for some weeks now. And I've done some work and realized that there is a way to go, and there's possibly a solution. So I will show you what eventually, when I get this working properly, and I don't have it yet, but I may in the very near future, this is what comment tracker will look like if we fully engage and are successful at that. So it's my challenge for the week. So this is what it looks like. Can everybody see that okay?
Very nice. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a nice change, and that's Melanie Hall was in the outskirts of the Hangout with one of the comment stream posts, and she said that, and there I can display what she said, and then of course what I said as a result of that. So we know that comment tracker may be working in the near future and give us an opportunity to show what's happening. But at the moment, I'm having some difficulties actually displaying the comments in the event page. So I've got a little bit of something to learn apparently. But that is my challenge for the week, and I'll keep at it because part of what we're talking about today is persistence. And when I keep at it, eventually I come up with a conclusion. Now the conclusion may be I'm going to scrap comment tracker completely and do without it. If that's the case, fine and dandy. But if I can make it work, it is an asset to the show, and we'll see what we can do about that. So a couple of more quotes on perseverance, because we all talked about the concept of persistence, and determination alone are omnipotent. Here's a couple of things also that are said. Albert Einstein. It's not that I am so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. That was Albert Einstein. And this one I kind of like, and it's going to lead us to the next phase of what we'll talk about for a few minutes, and that is Michael Jordan. He stated, I've failed over and over again in my life. That is why I succeed. Now, I like the sentiment that when he fails, he picks himself up by the bootstraps or the tennis shoes, but he actually continues on and tries again. If first you don't succeed, try it and try again. We can get exhausting with various statements like that when people are down and out and not feeling in that competent nature where they think, I'll keep at it and I'll do it again. When they're feeling down, it's hard to absorb statements like that. But why should we try? Why should we give it to it? And I want to take this one step further to give my green room people a few things to chew on. Failure is not a word that I adhere to very well because I don't look at it like failure. When you look up the word failure in the dictionary, it's talking about an abrupt end to something. Wow, it stopped, it discontinued. Your forward motion ended. And when you fail, it's like whatever it is that you trooped through no longer is a possibility. It's like the whole thing is dust. Now, I ask you, is life really like that? Because I would like to redefine failure. Go ahead, Shira. I know you're dying to say something.
No, not really. I was listening.
Oh, okay.
But I'm on the same page as you when it comes to failure, is that I don't really perceive it as failure. I perceive it as an opportunity, that if something looks like it's gone wrong, or there's something in our space that we don't like, or we've created something that in retrospect ended up to be not what we were planning, then ultimately that to me is an opportunity to kind of look, what did I do here that created this, and what might bring me the shift or the change that I'm looking for. So instead of going into shame, blame, anger, frustration, whatever that is, I look for a new solution. I open up to change.
Yeah, and along with that is the just even from a minor extent, the concept of embarrassment. People are embarrassed when it's totally natural to make a mistake or do something that you did not intend, and that's what we pick ourselves up from and move on. But so many people are like, "Oh God, I can't let people see me like this," or "Don't tell anybody." The whole concept of uh, don't let other people know that I'm human.
Yeah.
And I can't adhere to that too much at
Where
all.
does that come from, Roland?
That's
What
a
you
good question.
described. It comes from our childhood.
Yeah,
It comes from our childhood,
the
trying to be
conditioning.
yeah, trying to be seen as valuable or as important. And how many times as a child did you hear, no, this is how you do it? No, don't do that. No, that's not correct. No, and our parents were trying to make us as efficient and competent as possible. But as a child with no discernment, the no, no, no causes us to feel less than, not enough. So the minute that we do something that we don't think is the right answer, suddenly inside. This has nothing to do with anybody else. We're devalued. We lose our value in our own eyes, and so we become humiliated, embarrassed, shamed, and
One
it's all lies.
one other thought about that as well, that there's an assumption within when something doesn't work out the way that we wanted it to, that we've failed, that's it. It's very much a polarity point of view. Whereas if we look for the energy of it, there's always a valuable lesson in everything we do, whether we succeed at it or not. And I think that's something that this duality thinking doesn't help us with.
Um, I'm sorry, I got distracted for a moment. I hope the crowd listened to you carefully because I will admit that I was not for a moment. Um, what is the positive of the moment? Apparently, the Hangout window is not displaying the live event, and let me address that just for a moment and see what I can do. Inside the Hangout, it tells me that we are live and recording, but apparently the people in the event page cannot see that. So I'm going to research that briefly, and we're going to let the event be extended if we will. And let me see if I can solve our problem. So I'm going to go to the shared page and see if it'll play there. Nope, it's saying live video will broadcast will begin soon. Now this probably is either a YouTube thing or some connection to the event itself. I'm wondering if anybody can hear me. If they obviously they can't if the video won't play in the event page. There's no sound or no nothing. So why am I asking that? But anyway, we will try to address this because certainly if we can't be live with our dozen of people in the audience, I'm really wasting their time. So I'm very sorry about that.
Are
But
they
we are indeed apparently recording, so we'll see what happens with that.
are they not seeing or hearing anything, Roland?
Yeah, I'm monitoring the event page myself, and it says the event will begin in a few moments. So
Okay.
I don't know. Let me try refreshing my page. Yeah, that's very interesting. So let me write a quick note to the people.
I've just done it.
Thank you, George.
No problem.
So, yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. Let's see. I'm tempted to like re-engage this whole thing and maybe open up a new hangout and just redirect people to that. Are you guys game? We'll
Absolutely.
probably
Yes.
we'll probably have about 45 minutes or so to regain our footage and readdress the subject. We can do that. That's better than letting everybody sit there and watch a blank screen. So let me go ahead and exit out of this, and I will do my best to re-engage with a new hangout in within 5 minutes.
Gotcha. Thank you, Rowan.
Okay. Thank you guys. I'm going to stop the broadcast.